Hi, everybody. It is September 6, 2024. Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Justin Wynn. Hope you're feeling better. And Crazy Pot, Sandra, Tony, Alicia, Rage Against the Machine, Silent Walk, hi, James B., Shauna Howard, and Analog Synth Player, Oracle 11. Hello. All right. Hope you are all doing well. Those of you who aren't, hope you're doing okay. Those of you who are really struggling and suffering, I'm very sorry. It's a very difficult time to live, especially when you have your own circumstances dealing with the consequences. And a whole lot are dealing with the consequences and having a very difficult time doing it. So, Julie, hi. Mama Rages, hello. Feeling better, good. Good. Angelos, hi. All right, so take a look at this radar. Take a look at this radar. What are you seeing that is very off? Right here. This whole, well, what do we call it? Are we going to, it's a manufactured weather front. Okay. Manufactured weather front, manufacturing supercells, but this is going up northeast and this is going down southwest. Okay. That should not be happening. The other thing that I've noticed is this seems to be traveling east, but it's kind of being stopped. This isn't moving along the coast at all. We've got nanobots that are invading the precipitation on the coast. And this is causing a pressure. If anybody's in South Carolina or Georgia, especially, is it very windy right now? Look at Florida with the supercells. Oh boy, there has been it. If it rains in Florida, you got flooding. You got flooding. Okay. Look at the extremely low frequencies. Southern California, where a lot of people are losing their homes due to land shifting, which these extremely low frequencies can cause. Look at all of these nanobots just materializing right along the Nevada border. Our radar doesn't even make sense. All right, so you got these supercells in Ohio and in Pennsylvania and Indiana, Kentucky, and that does not look good. And I don't believe there are any tornado alerts, but interesting. They took off all the severe weather warnings just within the last couple of minutes. There's a severe weather warning for Kentucky, right where I said, this does not look good. Right here. So that's northern Kentucky. And it's in Bath. These are the counties: Bath, Fleming, Montgomery, and Rowan. All right. The link is in the chat. I hope you guys are checking radar and checking the weather alerts on a daily basis, because we do know that they can literally bring it about whenever they want to bring it about. What am I talking about? Bringing about the very destructive weather. I'm effing sick, just a cold or what have you, but sucks. And I didn't dare go to work because there is nothing worse than a sick bartender or server. I'm sorry to hear that. Chance of water spouts on Great Lakes. Yeah. Okay, so I will show you what has been happening, but we're going to start with Akron, Ohio. This was sent to me by Ray Clay. I'm not sure if he is in the chat, but this is Northeast Ohio. Am I correct on that, you guys? Akron, Ohio. Chemical plant containing chemicals such as propane, methanol, and xylene in flames. In flames. Look at this. Ohio again.
Plant in Akron that there's a fire. It's a hazmat situation. We've been moved in the last hour 3 times for our safety, and we did hear pops and see some more flames here. Fire crews knew that an explosion would happen because inside there are propane tanks, there's gas, there's chemicals. See those apartment buildings? They have been evacuated, as well as another.
Great. So Ray Clay is in the chat, and he says winds that day spread it north again over the lake. Okay, well, this is not, in my estimation, certainly not just it's an accident. I believe that a whole lot of these fires, these chemical plants, these factories, all of it is deliberate. It's just part of the taking down of this country. So I'm going to play just maybe 2 minutes of Weatherman Plus, and I do hope that all of you, the Gulf, Florida, are taking seriously what may very well be coming in. All right, the tropics is about to get intense.
Thursday, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus, and I got a big update on what's going on, not only with our weather pattern, what's going on in the tropics. So we have an intense situation about to happen. Now you can see all the yellow blobs everywhere. You get a yellow, everybody gets a yellow blob. We even have that little section in the Gulf of Mexico. Like I was saying yesterday, I was thinking more like this will grow further across the Gulf. But what I'm seeing in the weather,
and that is what happened. This is what was, outside of Texas in the Gulf. And this is the same, I don't want to call it a system. They're just now, they moved it. And again, there's a pressure right here. And this is what they do with the electromagnetic frequencies. They're holding it. There's no movement on the coast except for these nanobots coming in, and this builds up a pressure. But yeah, this is going east and this is going west. So when you see this on radar, when you see this going northeast, but down here, the tail of it, which is manufacturing more nanobots, this is going southwest, then you know that they are moving the air masses with electromagnetic frequencies. So everybody stay safe. All right.
The pattern is a little bit different than what's about to happen. So I want you to see exactly what's going to happen, that we prepared for this transition, because this is going to be intense. We got chances for this storm over here to form as it goes towards the coast of Florida. We have the chance for this, bring chances for heavier rainfall, bring chances for tornadoes as well. I'm not seeing any of this forming up, but it is going to still meet up with this wave, and these two are still going to get pushed out and probably form something right along the coast of Florida, showing something weak. But the Euro, the artificial intelligence, is still showing a tropical storm forming up right off the coast of Louisiana. And we still got a piece breaking off that's going off into the Eastern Pacific that can come right back towards Western Texas, towards the Four Corners, or maybe even still go all the way towards California. So we got a very intense transition that's about to happen.
So I will post the link in the chat, which I did. So what has been going on? Well, again, there was more flooding in Tampa than what you're going to see here. This was September 5th and yesterday, but there was more flooding today.
Storms cause flooding many people haven't seen in years or ever before. Several commuters had a hard time getting home Wednesday night, with water covering roadways, causing cars to stall. We've seen flooding in parking lots and strip malls like near Hillsborough and Hanley. Neighborhoods are full of water too, including in Zephyr Hills, where there's been a local state of emergency for flooding.
It's pretty scary situation, you know.
Shelby Lavelle's yard and garage flooded this week, and his septic system is now underwater.
It happened within a matter of 30 to 40 minutes that my house was about to take on water.
Homeowners near the Silverado Golf Course in Zephyr Hills are dealing with similar issues.
Trying to protect my family, and we're trying to protect everything we own here, you know.
Communities that don't typically deal with flooding issues have had problems this summer, and those that are prone to flooding haven't been able to catch a break lately. Down in Largo, neighbors tell us a nearby ditch has been inundated with rainfall that's caused standing water in the street.
It's a lake. It's a lake, literally. That should all be pavement, but it's at least 4 feet deep.
And frustrations are growing.
We have the fish crawling upstream. It's incredible. This is the city's problem.
This, yeah, okay. This was caused by rain. Just rain now, all right? No tropical storm, no hurricane, just rain. Summer storm caused widespread flooding across Bay Area. This is also in Florida.
A massive summer storm causing widespread flooding across the Bay Area tonight. Many drivers were left stranded in the water in their water-damaged cars as they try to get through that water there. Some drivers had to go home at a snail's pace during this evening commute. News Channel 8's Marilyn Parker joining us from Pinellas County tonight. Marilyn, this storm worked its way across Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. I mean, some streets are still flooded tonight.
That's right, but it is getting a little bit better, especially here out on Fox Street Northeast. You can see right there in the middle of that intersection, there's still some water, but it has gotten better since we've been out here for the last 2.5, 3 hours. I will say that looking over onto the sides of the road there up towards the houses, the water didn't reach up there, which is obviously good news. One person even drove by not too long ago. They said this was a crazy rain event, especially looking at the level of flooding. We want to show you some pictures from around St. Pete. These are from viewers. Everyone's sending them in, starting with 30th Avenue and 38th Street North. You can see water flooding the front end of cars and covering the median. It's a lot of rain there. We also saw cars that were stuck in the Tyrone area. And we also want to show you video that we shot over in Shore Acres. We know Shore Acres has a tendency to flood, especially during rain events. We saw a car pushing through the water, and in that area, we did see water getting up to those houses, but there were intersections covered, and the water, once you got down the road, it did start to let up a bit, which is...
So what do you think is happening now? Any of you guys in this area? Up here, close to Jacksonville? It's like, no, I don't know why people are not questioning this, Mama Rages. It certainly needs to be questioned. And yeah, Eastern Europe, this is Romania. All right. Oh, man.
The past few days have caused flooding and severe damage in several communities in the Constanța region. The resort of Mama Veg, one of the most visited on the country's coast, was badly damaged by heavy rains.
I will put the link in if you want to watch the end of the video, but I do recommend that you subscribe to these weather destruction channels. Tragedy in France again. Now it's Marseille. Marseille? Is it Marseille?
Marseille in France was hit hard by flooding after a torrential storm swept through.
I think these are storm drains.
The region. The storm caused significant amounts of rainfall in Marseille, Bouches and the Rhône. Over a short period, destroyed the city's drainage system, leading to widespread flooding. They were put under water. Streets, homes and businesses were flooded, causing severe unrest throughout the city.
Oh, France and Italy. Also, Switzerland got hit, and I failed to bring up that video, but do you really need to see it? I mean, it's the same. Cars floating. There's a lot of people who are being destroyed. A lot of people who are inundated, saturated in a whole lot of poisons. Now, we all are, but some have it a little worse, right? line fire, bear fire. There's fires taking off, people being evacuated. This is in California, Southern Cal, or San Bernardino. Isn't that mid, not south, not north, but mid?
County are keeping a close eye on a wildfire that's been inching closer to homes.
Evacuation warnings are in place. KCAL News reporter Rick Montanez is live in Highland with a look at how the hillsides are holding up. Good morning, Rick.
Yeah, right now I can tell you it's very smoky in the air, irritating to the eyes. It can make it difficult to breathe. That evacuation warning, because the neighborhood is right here, but just across this street here on Baseline Road is where the fire started. So look over there where you see the brush scorched and then went up that hillside. And we want you to follow this hose line, and then it goes all the way up that steep terrain. That is where firefighters climb, because that is where the fire burned. And this, of course, got dangerously close to homes. There are some homes on the other side of this, and it is incredible to see. Look at this video here as the fire raged overnight, flames towering into the sky, ferociously burning through that thick, dry brush too close to homes and buildings. A witness this morning tells me he saw the fire explode from a small brusher to a huge wall of flames. Evacuation warnings in place this morning still for anyone living east of Church Street, north of Highland Avenue, also east of Weaver and north of Green Spot to the Iron Bridge.
Yes, the fire exploded. This was sent to me by a subscriber. Catford fire. This was in, well, the UK, but I wanted to see if it was in Britain or Scotland. But look, there are so many house fires. There are so many apartment fires. People are losing their homes every single day. Oh, didn't have the mic on. Yeah. People are losing their homes every day. So, and their lives. I mean, a whole lot of people are dying in these fires. This here in Connecticut.
Good morning and welcome to Connecticut's Morning Buzz. I'm Melissa Taglia.
And I'm Natasha Lubchenko. We start with some tragic breaking news. We have just learned from Middlefield officials that a child at John Lyman Elementary School has died after a house fire. Officials withholding the name of that child at this time, of course, out of respect for the family. The superintendent of Regional School District 13, Doug Shook, released a statement saying, in part, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of this child in this most difficult time. We will be sending additional counseling staff to John Lyman Elementary School today to support children and adults in the aftermath of this tragedy. We will also be sending additional counselors to support staff at Brewster Elementary School, where the child attended school previously."
I never lived, just seeing fire after fire after fire. On a daily basis. Animals threatened after home catches fire. California.
We are following some breaking news in the Inland Empire.
Let's get up to Mike Rogers here at the desk with new information. Mike, what's going on?
Yes, so this is just happening. Our photographer just gave us a call out there on the scene. This is in Norco. I want to take you to those live pictures. We will in just a second here. There is a home burning here on a street in Norco, and those firefighters are actively trying to put out those flames. But here's what the photographer just told me from the scene. There are apparently animals, maybe livestock, horses that are kind of stuck here in this fire. Let's go to the live pictures here. This is from the ground. Gus, our photographer, you can see him walking around here. A little bit of chaos just a moment ago. We did see some pretty large flames. There's the fire. There's the house. And again, Gus I just hung up the phone with him out there. He tells me that there are some horses or animals in the back of the home there that they are trying to rescue. So this is being fought by the Riverside County Fire Department. CAL FIRE is out there. That's the version of them. You see some of these residents out here kind of just watching. And again, this is in the Norco area. These are live pictures of a home burning there where we understand there are some animals that are trapped. Of course, we know the inland.
School bus catches fire between two buildings in Brooklyn, New York.
Breaking news, a school bus fire in Brooklyn this morning. Our chopper was over the scene.
Firefighters at the scene of a bus fire in Brooklyn that also spread to two buildings. This is East 93rd Street near Avenue L. There we can see that bus parked between two buildings. Fire has been extinguished. Now, it's not known what caused the fire, but as you can see, it spread to that one building adjacent to the right. Also, the smaller building to the left, we could see some fire damage there as well. At this time, it's unknown.
Under investigation. 3-alarm fire burns San Jose strip mall businesses.
Some breaking news out of the South Bay. We're talking about a 3-alarm fire at a strip mall. You can see right there, it was a very long night for firefighters there. This is what the scene looked like when the smoke started pouring out. San Jose firefighters just doing heroes work there. A long night for them trying to get this out. You can see right there, they had to deal with a lot of overhang there. They also got up on the roof, but it was difficult on that roof because it looks like it's a metal roof. The metal roofs are very slippery. This is over on Alum Rock Avenue. The call for help, we understand, came in just before 4 a.m. But because of that overhang that you see right there, it was kind of complex. They needed to get in. They needed to cut a hole in that metal roof. But getting up there meant risking their own safety.
How, any of you remember so many fires? Any of you? I don't. And there was more that I saw, and there's just too much. I can't, show it to you. But the worsening California landslide gets emergency declaration. And will any of the monies be going? Because the emergency declaration will free up funds. Do you think any of those government funds are going to go to the people?
You have to be here to see it, actually. It's so crazy. Just watching your house sink away. We are in Rancho Palos Verdes in the deep of the sinkhole, which my house now lies. This was all in like an 8-month span. And in that time, my house has just kept sinking and sinking. I hope we get some kind of funding and individual funding so we can move out or maybe turn it into a hiking destination and pay us off. I don't care. I'll take my money and never come back. I never want to deal with this again.
Well, that's Southern California. And yeah, what are we seeing 24/7? These extremely low frequencies. Okay, well, thousands of people are without water after city officials warned against using it for drinking.
Following breaking news for you right now, thousands of North Texans cannot use their water this morning. That means no drinking water, no showering, no water to cook your breakfast.
Yeah, this is not just a basic boil water notice. This is more severe than that, as overnight Grand Prairie ISD even announced that they are closing schools today. Cleo Green is live there this morning, and this is news that came out after a lot of folks went to bed, and this is pretty serious stuff, Cleo.
Yeah, Mark Kara, this is a huge alert this morning. In fact, we're standing right outside of Grand Prairie City Hall because this is where city crews were giving away free bottled water. And in fact, residents have been showing up this morning to see if they can get some of that bottled water. But I just spoke to a city council member and a city spokesperson, and they just told me that that location has now changed. So they're going to be giving away that free bottled water at 8 o'clock this morning at Lone Star Park. It's the huge horse racetrack building, less than 5 miles from where I'm standing. So that starts at 8 o'clock this morning. Now, we actually have some video from overnight when residents got that alert, and they didn't waste any time to pick up that free water. The giveaway ended at midnight. Once again, the location has changed. The meeting spot will be at Lone Star Park at 8 o'clock this morning. Here's what we know. The city says they detected a foaming agent in the water supply north of I-20. Crews are now investigating the issue, working to isolate the affected area. So if you live north of I-20 in Grand Prairie, down to South Beltline Road, out to Six Flags, and then any area near Riverside Golf Club, please avoid using the water.
A foaming agent. How does that happen? Houston apartment renters stuck in water bill battle. It is so obvious that we are being ripped off just from every direction. Utility companies, corporations for sure, government. Man, don't we need to do something?
If your apartment complex is not sub-metered, there's really no definitive way to know exactly how much water you're using each month. But the Texas Administrative Code says there are only 2 ways that your landlord can determine your monthly bill. If you think you're being overcharged, getting your bill corrected can be very difficult.
Kimbrae Sanders buys bottled water to cook and drink. With her son in college, she's alone most weeks in this 975 square foot apartment in Southeast Houston. And over the last 10 years here, her water bills were consistent until recently.
My water bill was mainly about $53 to $63 at the most. Around April, I noticed from 1 month it jumped from $63 to $123.
When she asked apartment managers why her bill was so much more,
oh, it was because of the City of Houston tax hike.
Sanders says the same apartment employee told her to call the Houston Water Department, then the third-party billing company that sends out the allocated bills each month. Neither would speak with Sanders because she is not their customer. Their customer is Green Arbor.
She said, legally, I can't give you that. The apartments give us a rate and we have to charge you, and this is not us, this is them, and please do not contact us again. Basically, another runaround.
The state administrative code says landlords of apartments that are not sub-metered can divvy the complex's water bill among tenants using a formula that factors in the number of occupants in each apartment, the square footage of each apartment, or a combination of the two. When you ask, your landlord must show you the formula they're using, the water bill for the whole complex, and the total amount billed to all tenants. While Sanders says Green Arbor didn't provide those specifics, she says they did tell her they were basing her bills on 3 occupants living in her apartment. But she says this document she sent to the complex 2 years ago is proof she told them her niece moved out, leaving just Sanders and her son here.
Why are y'all still charging me for 3 people? Well, are you going to give me a credit toward my rent? Or are you going to give me a check for what you owe me? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. You're just going to have to eat it. And I was like, excuse me?
We want to talk to you guys about how you're billing customers for their water.
You have to talk to my corporate office about that.
Green Arbor is owned by Tarantino Properties based in Houston, so we dropped in.
We're trying to talk to somebody about water billing at your apartment complexes.
Okay, let me see if somebody's back here. No one would talk with us on camera, but the company's vice president emailed this statement that basically says our utility management service calculated right, and that Sanders' account is now updated to show just 2 people live in her apartment. Her very next bill, $111.77.
You just want to know
why they're charging you what they are for water.
Correct.
I asked Sanders to file a complaint with the Texas Public Utility Commission. The PUC has the authority to take enforcement action against an entity in violation of state rules. Within days, that $111 water bill was lowered without explanation to $30.77.
I am a mom with a child in college. Every dime counts.
So I followed up with Tarantino.
What is going on? Again, it is remarkable that we have so many accidents, contractors drilling into gas lines, or we have Queens Midtown Tunnel. If you know that tunnel, which is where people travel to get out of Manhattan or to get into Manhattan from Queens, a contractor drilled into a pipe and water coming into the tunnel, which backed up traffic for a whole long time. But why are we seeing so many? We have contractors who are drilling into gas lines, water main breaks. Oops, sorry, we didn't mean to, put the backhoe into the pipe. Are people this incompetent now? Is this really?
Nightmare this evening commute, but I want you to take a look at nightmare this evening commute, but I want you to take a look at how things look right now. It's pretty steady and flowy. It's normal. Things are back to normal now. Traffic is flowing. Both lanes, inbound and outbound, are open. But guys, there are still a lot of questions as to how this incident could have happened. This video inside the Queens Midtown Tunnel shows water pouring down the ceiling, showing the severity of the leak that caused the tunnel to be shut down for hours as New York City and MTA authorities investigated.
Roughly 12:30 p.m. this afternoon,
a contractor drilled into a pipe accidentally. Queens residents concerned about cars with trash and bugs. Okay. Not quite sure what's happening to the population, but it seems evident that our population is in rapid decline, and it's not pretty.
This is one of the two vehicles that neighbors are worried about. There's a harsh smell that is emanating from this one, and both are filled to the brim with trash. Neighbors say they are not only unsightly, they're unsanitary.
These are bags filled with old plastics and, expired food and beverages.
Dylan Breslin describes what he sees on his daily walks down Shore Boulevard in Astoria. Two vehicles that look like they are doubling as trash bins.
It's alarming, it's disgusting, unpleasant.
Breslin says the vehicles have been around for about a year. He started calling 311 about them a month ago after he noticed what he believes are black soldier flies inside the vehicles.
It's a health hazard at this point to have these bugs, to have this rotten food and, things like that just around the neighborhood.
Residents say the same man owns both vehicles. They say he moves them to different parking spots every few days.
It's gross. Yeah, he's got two cars like that. I'm surprised he's not in his car because usually he sits in his car.
Other neighbors who do not want to go on camera tell us the owner is an older man who lives in a building in the area. They say his apartment is in a similar condition and they are trying to get him evicted.
He sits in this car? Okay. What? Beetles killing avocado trees in South Florida. I do just want to say that, a whole lot of these bugs that are killing trees all over the country, the infestation into the trees, it's a weakening of the immune systems. And I'm sounding like I absolutely know I don't. So let me pull back and say it is my estimation that a whole lot is due to the aluminum nanoparticulates getting into the root systems, weakening the immune systems of trees, causing the bugs to just come on in and destroy it further.
You act as fast as you can.
Sometimes it might not be fast enough. Scientists are trying to combat a beetle that is wiping out crops.
NBC2's Ryan Arbogast shows you the invasive species that could drive up your grocery bill.
At the Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm in Homestead, this tree is sick.
You always want to see brown on the ground and green in the sky. And if you look up and see brown, that's a problem.
But owner Tom Sedans takes care of the more than 500 that are here.
It's absolutely a real threat to avocados. You act as fast as you can.
Within 2 minutes, a nearly 40-year-old avocado tree turns to nothing but sawdust and a hole with a baby tree in its place.
Usually when one tree gets infected, its neighbors get infected too.
The infection is caused by this insect. You are watching a microscopic view inside an avocado tree as an invasive red bay ambrosia beetle burrows into the tree's vascular system, carrying a fungus, laurel wilt.
Since 2012, the industry has reduced from approximately 7,500 acres to 4,000.
Dr.
Okay, so yeah, they'll claim that it's climate change causing all of this. Idaho lost more than 144,000 acres of working land in less than 5 years. Ow.
Idaho losing farmland. Idaho losing farmland. It's become a familiar story. Many developments are growing outward, not upward. A concern for farmers and for a state of people whose economy relies on agriculture. In today's Inside Ag, we look at the rate Idaho is losing farmland and the plans to prevent further loss.
It's not just a job. It's a way of life.
We actually first settled in this area, our family did in 1910. So we've been here for a long time.
But for farmers in Idaho, their lives are changing. This summer, the USDA released its 2022 Census of Agriculture. Between 2017 and 2022, 144,000 acres of working land in the Gem State were taken out of production. This includes farmland, ranch land, and timber.
If it's sold off to a developer, it's never going to be production ag again, whether that's for cattle to graze on or whether that's to produce food. That's concerning as well to us as our population increases.
What's a part of the shift? Idaho Farm Bureau Federation President Brian Searle says farmers are grappling with offers from developers to buy them out to make room for more growth in the state.
Being a farmer myself, we're risk takers and we're price takers. So there's no guarantee on what we'll actually receive out of a crop. There's years that we lose money and it's a roller coaster. So all of a sudden the competition comes in that, hey, we'll buy your land and for very high prices.
The 2020 census report shows Idaho was the second fastest growing state in the country.
We're seeing something that we have not seen in the past for the fact that people are fleeing out of some of the states for various reasons to come to Idaho.
Real estate company Redfin shows the number of homes sold in July in Canyon County is up 40% over the same month last year. In Ada County, more than 21%. The Magic Valley has its share of housing developments, but farmer Rick Bruni says the changes they're seeing look different.
One of the big issues here is where solar and wind farms are starting to compete with farmland, and we can't compete with those type of rents.
It's not an easy decision for people to sell their life's work, and it's one that fellow farmers don't fault them for.
If you have a strong offer on the table and you've worked your whole life, you've earned that. So I totally understand if folks want to cash in and retire.
Treasure Valley farmer Miguel Villafana says he's seeing less young people get into the business.
The resources available, the bank loans available, they require a down payment assistance, or the Farm Service Agency requires that you be farming for 3 or more years. So starting out of the gate trying to buy land is extremely difficult.
The USDA reports 50% of Idaho's wheat is exported to foreign markets, and Idaho remains the highest potato producer in the nation.
But I do worry about the long term. Once all the land is developed and it's gone, where's our food going to come from? It's going to have to come from out of state or out of the local area.
We really... All right. I'm going to post the link to this, but yeah. Solar farms, wind farms, buying up farmland. And those wind farms and solar farms are very dangerous. Nearly 1/3 of residents in tiny Colorado town Sioux County over proposed cell tower.
Town in Saguache County, MappDOT, blink and you missed it kind of place. It could soon get an enormous new landmark that no one would miss. And locals are furious. So there are about 30 people who live in Villa Grove year-round. It's on the road from Salida to Alamosa, one of my favorite drives in the state. Do it if you can. When our Mark Salinger went down to talk to people about the plans for the big old cell tower, a whole bunch of the town showed up to explain why they're against it.
Now, our lawyer is waiting for all the evidence to come to him.
There's not usually a lot of news in Villa Grove.
Probably I'd say when the gas station, everything changed hands over across the street. It's been a long time.
So we don't have a lot in Villa Grove. We have pottery, pot, a post office, and upholstery.
We don't want to go to court
Half
with
the people who lived here showed up to Paula Mays' house
a cell phone tower that's going in.
when she spread the word that we wanted to hear about the talk of the town.
So how do you guys feel about the cell phone tower?
And we don't need a 195-foot tower sitting there. We don't.
It'd be just over across the road.
It will change the face of our tiny little historic town.
It's just unnecessary. Intrusive.
Nefarious.
Ugly. Real ugly. Nothing pretty about it.
Saguache County commissioners paved the way this month for a 195-foot tall communications tower to be built in this field on the edge of town. The people who live here worry about how close it is to the homes they've lived in for much of their lives.
I haven't done enough studies to know if it's going to radiate me or anything, but if it is, I'm not for it.
Even our trees, which are the tallest things in town, are only about 60 foot.
Here we go. Marquita just called me.
Commissioners say it would help with cell phone service.
Everybody's got cell phone reception in this area. Many miles of it.
$49 Walmart phone that works great. I get good reception. $49.
If it provides better cell service in the area, then I'm all for it.
Alan Yarmark runs the pottery shop in town. He's one of the few we found who actually wants the tower.
The people that are in direct line of sight don't want it. The people that aren't in the line of sight don't really care.
We just don't want.
Well, there are also people, residents there, that are concerned about the health effects. And I bet that cell tower will go in. Poisoned at home. Why carbon monoxide poisoning is on the rise as extreme weather causes more power outages.
Climate change is making extreme weather events like wildfires, floods, and hurricanes more frequent and more severe. And beyond the direct effects, there can be deadly secondary effects. Ali Rogan explores one that became especially evident after some of this season's worst storms.
It's a gas with no odor, no taste, and no color, but if not detected, it can be deadly. Carbon monoxide, or CO, is released after burning fuels like those used to run a power generator. Scientists now say that CO poisonings are on the rise amid widespread power outages following extreme weather events.
Okay, all right. So it's the use of generators that is causing more people to die from carbon monoxide. due to power outages. Billions of people have inadequate micronutrients. These results are alarming. Is that a surprise to any of you? More than half the world's population is deficient in micronutrients such as vitamins and minerals. This was in The Lancet. 99.3% of the global population is missing at least one important nutrient. This isn't going to get any better. It's only going to get worse when we have our food supply taken over. We're eating poison. And a whole lot of corporations have bought the smaller, which they were good in making really good vitamins and supplements. But unfortunately, corporations have now bought into it. I have a video on Never Lose Truth where I just went through all of these smaller people that really rely on their integrity, their honesty, and then they sold out to corporations. So even the vitamins and the nutrients, and I'm not talking about the vitamins that people get at Walmart and supermarkets. I'm talking about the high end. You've got to do the research now to find out if the high end that you've been buying is still high end. That it's an exhausting time to be alive because it requires an awful lot of work. Living consequence free in LA after cutting power to 1,200 people.
San Fernando Valley are without power tonight, all because of this man right here who climbed a power pole and would not come down.
Okay, you guys got that? This guy cut power to 1,200 homes in this Los Angeles neighborhood. Let's see what happens next.
A man climbed up a power pole and refused to come down. It's unclear exactly what he was doing up there, but power was cut to the neighborhood, and some people at the scene thought the man was maybe trying to steal copper. For long periods of time, he appeared motionless.
You see the large response, though, from the LAPD, the LAFD. They closed down the intersection, but ultimately decided, hey, if this guy doesn't want to come down, we're going to leave.
So everybody just left the guy there. The police left.
After about an hour of trying to talk that man down, both police and fire crews left the scene. Eventually, that man climbed down on his own and simply walked away. His exact intentions remain a mystery.
So, I mean, he was able to climb up and climb, no problem.
And on his way he goes.
He was able to leave, no problem. Wow, the feel-good story of the day. You see, this is the problem in Los Angeles. They are not serious. 1,200 homes lost power, and the guy who did it faces zero consequences as he goes about his day in a drugged-out stupor to cause chaos to the next resident. I want to remind you of something that happened in 2022.
Confronted in a random attack and left for dead. A horrific crime leaves a community on edge. Now a hunt for a killer.
Neighbors and even LAPD detectives are rattled by the brutality of this crime. The suspect later seen just calmly walking away.
This girl was working in a furniture store and was stabbed to death by someone who came in the store. This is the kind of shit that happens when you let people do whatever they want without consequence. They're climbing poles, cutting power, making journalists giggle one day, and completely shattering lives the next. Los Angeles is a joke.
Well, it's not a funny joke, but the entire country is. Sadiq Khan, this is in the UK, he's the mayor of London, implementing Agenda 2030 in London, banning private parking. I will link below. It's happening at all agendas. Even though we focus on different agendas, and we may focus on different agendas for a couple of days or weeks even, all agendas continue on.
Transport is at the heart of my vision to create a better city for all Londoners. How we get around and how easily has a big impact on all of our lives. Our streets define what London is like as a place to live and work, and public transport is part of many Londoners' daily routine. Ensuring that walking, cycling and public transport are the most appealing and practical choices for many more journeys is at the very core of my transport strategy.
As a part of Agenda 30, also called Sustainable Development, London Mayor Khan wants to introduce a car-free London. Parts of Khan's plan are already in place and consists of making it extremely difficult for car drivers to drive in London, and in future, to even own your own car. Many streets of London have been slashed in half in favor of cyclists by creating segregated cycle lanes, which have led to enormous traffic jams, and to add a cherry on the cake, the whole London are slowly implementing 20 miles per hour borough by borough against people's wills. But this is nothing compared to what is coming. In Khan's latest scheme he is proposing, and we all know that proposing really means implementing, to create a car-free London by transforming roads in facilities for cyclists and designing the road infrastructure so that walking and cycling are the most appealing choices for getting about. To discourage you from driving or even owning your own car, Khan proposes the following: narrower streets for cars, more space for cycling. 20 miles per hour speed limit across London, already in effect in most boroughs. Reduction in the availability of private parking. Complex pay-per-mile driving charge. More bus-only lanes. Vehicle-free zones.
Yep, it's a happening. It's a happening. The link is in the chat. You can watch the remaining 2 minutes. But wow. Okay. Prime Minister Keir Starmer. No one can hide forever. I don't think a lot of Brits like their new PM Prime Minister. A lot of screaming, and this is amazing. So from 10 Downing, Keir Starmer removes the portrait of Margaret Thatcher. How do these people do what they do? It is, wow. Do you think something's wrong with our leaders?
Now, there's only one thing worse than a hard left Australian government, and that's a hard left British government.
Yeah.
And the government of Keir Starmer, they lost me a while ago, but now it is war. I'm sorry. Matt Goodwin joins us now, Professor Matt Goodwin from the UK. It was funny, but now it is deadly serious, Matt Goodwin. Keir Starmer has removed the portrait of Maggie Thatcher from 10 Downing Street, and I will not stand for it, Matt. I will not stand for it. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, obviously, this is one of the stories that's captured the headlines. I think, for many people here in the UK, actually, this is a symbol of something a little bit darker. This is a guy who's just become prime minister. He's announced sweeping crackdowns on free speech and free expression since taking control of number 10 Downing Street. He's continued to lose control over the borders. And this week, he gave a remarkably depressing speech about how he sees Britain, a very gloomy, apocalyptic view of the country. Taxes are going to have to go up. spending on public services is going to have to go down. And here's the interesting thing. He didn't say anything at all about what voters say is the #1 issue in Britain right now, and that issue is immigration.
That's right. Oh, they never talk about what is most important, right? All right, I'll post the link. So I just want you to see this. I don't know if you know about the Marines being attacked in Turkey. I think we're going to see an awful lot of Americans all over the world being attacked.
One of the men and putting a sack over his head amid chants of Yankee go home. So let's bring in ABC.
Yeah. Maybe it'll play. Maybe. Come on.
Chilling images tonight of a violent assault of 2 Marines in Turkey. A mob captured on video holding one of the men and putting a sack over his head amid chants of Yankee go home. So let's bring in ABC's foreign correspondent James Longman. And James, what more are you learning about this attack?
Yeah, Mary, shocking video out of Turkey tonight. A U.S. Marine attacked by a violent mob. You can see him here in plain clothes. The group grabs hold of him and they put a bag over his head. Another U.S. Marine rushes in to try to save him. He is also attacked. All this happening on the street in Izmir, which is a city in the west of the country. These 2 men were on shore leave from the USS Wasp, which is stationed in the Aegean. 15 people have been arrested as a result. They're from the Turkish Youth Union. And they say they did this because they hold U.S. personnel responsible for the war in Gaza. They say these men have the blood of Palestinians on their hands, although we should say this group has mounted similar attacks like this before. Tonight, Mary, I can tell you both these U.S. Marines are safe.
I don't think very many like Americans anymore. I just wanted to bring your attention to that. I have a lot open for what's happening in Israel, and I can't go there. I've been experiencing a tiredness that I'm really, it's getting a little concerning to me because I've only did 1 hour. I think I might have to split it up and do an hour and then an hour, do 2 lives because there is so much happening and I do feel compelled to post on it, but I don't think I can do 2 hours straight anymore. I don't like that. But I do want to just, again, this economy of ours, all right? And what we are leaving to the younger generations is so, yeah. And more people are going off the financial cliff and hardly anyone. It doesn't seem like it's obvious to me that it's deliberate, right? Okay, it's obvious to an awful lot of you, right? Yeah, okay. But it can be, obvious to an awful lot of people, but we're just sitting around allowing ourselves to be destroyed, allowing it to happen. Great replacement. 1.3 million native-born Americans just lost their jobs, replaced by 635,000 immigrants. Okay? Job openings fell more than expected in July, in another sign of labor market softening. Yeah, it's softening. And they're still claiming unemployment is at 4.2%. It's double digit. A whole lot are putting it at like 22%. All right. So the job market is garbage. I see so many people talking about how they cannot find a job.
Is anyone else struggling to get a job right now? Like, I'm genuinely curious. I literally wake up every fucking day and I apply to multiple jobs on Indeed. I don't know if it's because I'm using Indeed, but I don't hear shit back for any of these jobs. Like, I literally don't hear shit back. Why is it impossible to find a fucking job right now? I'm seriously so over it. I wake up every single day and I have nothing to do and nothing to look forward to. I have no fucking routine. It's like I wake up just to scroll on TikTok or lay in bed and feel fucking worthless. And then the days that I do get up and get ready, what am I getting ready for? To record myself to post on TikTok? Like I'm getting sick and tired of it. It's low-key depressing and it's fucking with my mental health a little bit, which I don't want it to, because who wants that? It's just really exhausting and it's really fucking annoying that I'm spending all this time, energy, and effort into getting a job and I don't hear shit back from these jobs. And I'm applying for things I'm qualified for. Like, I'm applying for things that I have experience in. I just don't understand. Like, I literally, I have changed my resume multiple times. I've edited it. I've done all these different things to try to get a job. And it's like, I don't hear shit back. And then the one job I had an interview for and they told me I had the job, but then told me I had to wait for the offer letter and all this background check shit and credit. Another thing, why are they fucking checking your credit now to get a job? Why do they have to do a credit check? That's weird as fuck. Anyways, I have not heard shit back from that job either. And that was a week ago. And I've already messaged them and called them so many times. I don't want to be annoying and keep messaging like, hey, what's up? But also they still have the job posted on Indeed and they're only hiring one position, one role, one position. And apparently I have it, but the job posting is still up. So I'm like, bitch, that's not my job. And if it is, why are you still taking interviews? Like, why are you still letting people apply? So yeah, it's just really stressful and annoying. I don't understand why I'm having such a hard time to find a job. I've been applying to jobs for months, and not a single thing has came my way. Like, the one thing that did, I had the interview for, and then nothing. Crickets. It's really annoying. It's really fucking depressing. I want to be able to make money. I want to have a routine. I want to meet new people. I'm almost 20 fucking sticks. Like, I should not be a stay-at-home daughter. I really should not. It makes me feel like shit. It makes me feel like it makes me feel worthless. I just don't understand why it's so hard to find a job right now. And does anyone else fucking relate? Am I the only person going through this? Is it just because like I'm not, like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong? Oh, and also side note that doesn't really relate to this, but the people commenting on my old TikToks about the job that I posted out, they're like, you should delete these. My name is not connected to this account. I use a random fucking email. My number's not connected. I have fucking 700 followers. You're not going to see it. So please shut the fuck up. Thank you.
I'm being so humbled by looking for service jobs in the 2024 job market. I'm currently having trouble finding work in the major I studied in college, so I've been applying to a ton of service jobs. I feel like no matter what the job is, they all want you to have a bachelor's degree, 1 to 3 years experience, and the pay is like $20 to $22 an hour. I also just got rejected from Whole Foods too, which is rough. I have experience working at a grocery store and my availability was pretty open, so maybe I somehow just screamed red flags. But anyways, I just wanted to share my thoughts in case anyone else feels like they're getting humbled, and cheers to hoping to find a job so I can stay in San Francisco.
This is what I really want to know. How are these people surviving for real? I'm talking about the people that haven't had a job in the last 6 months to 2 years even. What are y'all doing to stay afloat? What are y'all doing to get by? What are y'all doing to survive? I know people are picking up gig work. We can say that, right? Everybody doing DoorDash right now. Everybody doing Instacart, Uber Eats. It's over competitive. Everybody doing it. You go to a restaurant, you see 1,000 people picking up DoorDash orders. DoorDash order, DoorDash order. Oh, I'm here for DoorDash, Instacart. In stores, you know what I mean? You see people doing Instacart. So I know they doing that. But what other ways are people making money out here? You know, I got the ways that I recommend, you know, making money online. There's various different ways you can make money online. Maybe I answered my own question, but what do y'all think? Or if you're a person that's unemployed, what are you doing right now? What are you doing to generate income?
I applied to 100 jobs in 5 days, and this is what I learned. A lot of jobs are now asking you to put your salary expectation in the application. First of all, no, I will still find a way to get around that, but I just don't like that. A lot fewer roles are requiring you to apply using Workday, which thank God, because I have never loved using Workday. I just never loved putting in my resume only to put in my resume again in your text boxes. I also learned that between searching for the next job to apply to, seeing whether or not to apply to it, and then applying to it, that all takes me about 6 minutes. I also see that some companies limit the amount of jobs that you can apply to, and not like a limit of like 20, more like 3. It really sucks because I may truly think that 3 roles are perfect for me, so I'll apply to them, but then you create a job tomorrow that's perfect, and now
So I wanted to come on.
Ah, okay. Tattooed up the wazoo. There's an awful lot of people who are applying, just sending out their resumes, you know, trying every single day. They're applying hundreds of jobs and nothing comes back. Nothing. There's a lot of job postings that people think, oh, there's an opening, I'll apply, but they're not openings. And I think this is also just to fool the public, you know, into thinking, well, there's so many jobs out there, so of course you're going to judge the person who's looking for work and can't find any job. And yeah, there's a lot of deception out there, and a whole lot of people are being judged based on all of the lies that are being accepted by an awful lot of people. Can anyone afford to live in 2024?
I saw a post on Facebook about how like groceries have increased in price by 135%. Like somebody ordered some online order at Walmart for groceries and it was like $74. And then in 2024 they ordered the same stuff and it went up by like $100. So here's my thing. Why is it that shit keeps getting more fucking expensive, but people aren't getting paid more? Like, so I live in like Mount Washington Valley in New Hampshire, right? And I go to the Dollar Tree, and I go there a lot because I'm fucking poor, right? And I go there to buy like regular stuff like a strainer or like paper plates. Tell me why there's a lady there who's worked there for like 7 years and she's struggling. She makes $10 an hour, bro. She literally told me, she was like, yeah, I make $10 an hour. Because when she started, it was at like $7 or $8 an hour or some shit. She makes $10 an hour, bro, in 2024. And like, not for nothing, she could go like down the road and work at Dollar General and make like $14 an hour. But still, 2024, people are making that much money. Okay, let's do the math. Let's say her name's Debbie. Debbie makes $10 an hour. She works 40 hours a week, which she doesn't. She works part-time because she's retired. But let's say she works 40 hours a week. That's $400 a week minus taxes you're looking at and insurance. How much are you fucking making? $280, $300? You can't be telling me that people are walking home with a couple $100 a week after working 40 fucking hours? Like, what is this? Is this the Great Depression? Like, what is going on? That means like, okay, let's say she walks home with $300 a week. That's $1,200 a month. Okay, if she lived in an apartment, there aren't even apartments around here for $1,200 a month. everything's like $2,000 a month or like $1,500 a month. So if she took every single cent that she made, she wouldn't be able to pay for a fucking apartment. Never mind food, gas, other bills. I like can't even understand. And then I make $36 an hour and I have to borrow money from my husband to get gas to get to work every day. Like, so if I can't even live on $36 an hour, how the fuck is she supposed to live at $10 an hour? This is why people have 3 fucking jobs up here. This is why literally Maine, because I work in Maine, everybody's an alcoholic because everybody's stressed as fuck. And like groceries are still getting more expensive. Like a package of chicken is ridiculous. Buying a box of cereal is like $6, bro. I literally went to a store the other day and a box of Cheez-Its was $7. Like there's something fucking wrong. Like they need to pay us more money. Like what the fuck is going on? Like I'm sorry, but shit needs to shift. Like minimum wage needs to shift. Everybody's wages need to shift. I spent $26 on groceries yesterday. I got 3 cobs of corn, 2 cucumbers, 2 small tomatoes, and a thing of milk and pasta. $26 for that. Come on now. That's why I have like 3 different side gigs. I started a digital marketing business hoping I can work from home. I am a travel agent on the side, helping people fucking book their travel fucking shit. I do house cleaning on the side through homaglow.com, and I work full time, $36 an hour. And I still don't make enough money. Shit needs to change, man. I mean, I'm going to focus on my business on the side because that's going to fucking save my ass, but
Okay, well, it's not just true for her, but it's true for an awful lot of people. It's, we're crashing. We're crashing big time. And how about elder care, assisted living, nursing homes? Okay. The boomers transferring wealth to corporations. A whole lot of boomers are selling their homes to afford elder care instead of inheritance for their children.
I called an elder care facility to find out pricing for like assisted living for potentially one of my parents, and they said $8,000 a month. At least $8,000 a month. Who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for that?
Hello, everyone. This is Keynote Reacts. We will be reacting to a new video today, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
I called an elder care facility to find out pricing. This video is why I am moving in with my mom and stepdad at 28 years old. You should go watch their video. They're talking about trying to access elder care for one of their parents and being quoted at $8,000 per month, which no one I know can afford that. And I know 28 seems pretty young to be having these conversations with my mom, but she had me at 41. She's almost 70. Her husband is 77. Their health is declining. Cognitively, they're doing fine, but they're worried about stairs, and we live about an hour and a half away. I can't drive because I'm legally blind, and my husband and I get really worried about what would happen if they were to need some sort of daily check-in or frequent support, and we just can't provide it. So we're moving in with them. Our plan is to financially support my mom instead of us having a mortgage and buying a house. We'll support my mom in adding an addition onto her home so she and her husband can live downstairs and have like a private bathroom, bedroom, a small living area, and then we share a kitchen and a living room, and my husband and I have the living area upstairs. And that's our plan. I know it's really daunting thinking about spending the next few decades, hopefully, living with my mom and my stepdad, and knowing that once making this transition, we're signing on to caring for them until they pass. But I think this is a choice that more and more people are going to have to make.
And I hope that more and more people make that choice. Yeah, we need to change. We need to change here. And families really need to change and become more functional and get that they got to come together. They have to come together. You know, it's unfortunate that an awful lot of people are still accepting the lies and they feel that, oh, well, the economy's doing well, so I don't have to help out my adult children or whatever. Well, that's what happens with lies. That's why it's so important to speak the truth. But yeah, this elder care thing is, and it's like $8,000 to $25,000 a month. A month. And how are people surviving? What? Yeah, I just, okay. It's really, it's mind-boggling to me that when we're living something that is so, well, unprecedented for sure, the economy tanking, we are at war, and we can't seem to do much of anything different but watch our lives get destroyed.
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. Bullshit. Bullshit. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working our asses off for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now. If you can relate to this, if you have any advice, please comment and let me know. It's ridiculous.
Life is so expensive. Who else feel like they're living in like in a ghetto time era? I feel like right now we're in a ghetto era in life because it's like life is so expensive. Am I the only one really like going? Food is so expensive. Rent is so expensive. If you have a mortgage, mortgages are crazy right now. The price. Winning 30, 35, $40 an hour is like making minimum wage nowadays. They take out $1,000 from my check every 2 weeks, and I'm getting like $35 back in income tax. And I'm lucky that I don't have to pay back. I literally have to pay the government to work. It's just right now, it's just everything seems ghetto. Everything seems ghetto. And I don't know, like sometimes I feel like it's just I'm afloat. Like I can't lie, there's people doing worse than me, and I'm very grateful for the position I'm in. But sometimes it's just hard. Am I the only one that feels this way? Something's got to give.
Look, so as y'all know,
No, you're not the only one who feels this way. All right, the link is in the chat. You can watch more of his videos. It's very sad what's happening. Middle class is dying for sure.
Is the world just trying to get rid of middle class? How are we all affording life right now? I mean, how? Just, we have to somehow not be in debt, not use credit cards, pay all of our bills. have all these retirement accounts and all the savings, and how? Am I just failing life as an adult, or are we all feeling this right now?
This country is literally destroying the middle class. Like, do we even have a middle class anymore, or is it just?
It is so funny that in this video, this lady talks about the middle class and about how people are struggling. I own a restaurant and work a second full-time job and is still struggling. So to me, the middle class is dead. Unfortunately, it's either the haves or the have-nots. And the haves are having, like she says, and the have-nots are struggling profusely. So I understand this 100%. Tell me I'm not the only person that owns a business and that has to work a second job. I know people that work and own a business that work 2, 3, 4 jobs and still are struggling. Please tell me how anybody can be happy with the state of our economy, the state of our country, the wars we're in. Please tell me. And if you can tell me and prove to me how great everything is in our economy, in our country right now, then maybe I'll move to wherever you are and change my lifestyle and change my politics and everything. But you got to prove it to me first.
The middle class in this country is disappearing. Here's why. Don't know if you.
And he's talking about the UK. So clearly, things are not very good, right? Right. All right. All right. Don't worry. The gap between the haves and have-nots is so wide, but those who have a little bit more than others, you're going to be hit. You don't need unrealized gains tax. Just lifting capital gains tax will unleash hell. Harris will implement an unrealized gains tax if she is elected, effectively short-circuiting one of the core precepts of capitalism, the impetus for entrepreneurs to create value out of nothing and to cash out on their own terms. Okay, well, eventually there's not going to be anything left over, and everybody's just going to be made a slave. And we know that's coming, right? Yes, we do know that's coming. So I, unfortunately, have to say goodnight because I am something's not quite right. I'm not quite right, as they say in the South. So, God said lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. Those who deal truthfully are his delight. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for showing up. I do hope to see many of you tomorrow, and I'm just going to head on out and say goodnight. Yeah, live honestly and speak honestly. That's the only way out of madness. On that note, good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.